excited to be here. So, yeah, we're talking about digital presence and digital payments. And I thought I'd switch it up just a little bit today because I know a lot of you already in business and may already be online. So I wanted to get away from a little bit of the basics and just kind of get into more of the little bit of the nitty gritty. So we'll get into that. And please feel free to throw any questions in the chat as we go along. Happy to answer those. Happy to have a conversation going here. So, first off, here at Square, it's really crucial for us to help our sellers understand the importance of owning their online store or presence. So, if you're not already there, right, we really want to help you get there. And there's a couple of key reasons. Number one is right when you own your own web store or your own web presence, you have full creative control, right? You can iterate on merchandising your products, how they're going to look, how you talk to your customers on your website, and ultimately have the final control over the vision, how it looks, how it feels, how it flows, right? Versus maybe using a third party like marketplace, which still have um, great value into bringing new customers to you, but really we want to have you having that own online store, your own online presence. Second, you have control on price. And which in today's economy is going to be very, very crucial to you and your business, right? With marketplaces, there's usually a commission on top of your processing fees for finding customers, but with your own online store, you have control over your price and a complete control on your margins. And then third, and most importantly, you own the relationship with your customers, right? When they're purchasing directly from you and from your web store, those are your customers. You control all of that data, who they are, what they bought, when they visited, how many times they visited, right? That data is going to be crucial to you in the long run for your planning. And just your reporting, all of that is going to be super, super important. Definitely want to reiterate how important it is that you own that relationship with your customers. All right, so today we're going to be talking about a web presence that sells. I know we're deep into we're in the final lap of the holiday season here, so most of you are already set to go and doing well here. But for those of you that are maybe just getting started or maybe already looking ahead to 2024, and what a great time then the new year to start, right? Folks are looking at on that those sales for the new year that they didn't capitalize on at the end of the holiday season. So let's talk about a couple of topics here, and just having a little conversation here, right? And just some of as Colleen mentioned, I've been in the domain name and website industry now nearly 15, maybe a little over 15 years now. So I've seen a lot of different web builders come and go, hosting companies, trends, all of this, and of course helping folks build their web presence and their web store for many, many years. And these are just kind of some of the things I see that folks kind of tend to forget about, or maybe not focus on, or just kind of get wrong. So really want to help you guys get in the right direction here. Number one, when somebody's going to your website, maybe think of someone going to your website for the very first time, how important it is for you to highlight your core product and brand features on the homepage, right? Your logo, your color scheme, your fonts, the look and feel of your website, right? That homepage, when you, like they said, right, that first impression, you only get that one time to make a great first impression, and that's got to be the way your website looks on the homepage. The very first thing they see, and usually that's going to be a pretty um, prominent image, right? Your hero image or your main image, right? That's got to be something that really focuses what your business is about. Maybe it's just if you have a specific product that you're selling, right? Showing that product in the best possible light with that specific image, right? Because when they're getting to your website, they can easily be overwhelmed with where to begin, browse products, right? On these new sites, if someone's coming to you, they often need an overview of what your product is, as well as guidance to how to interact with your website or where to find your products. Which comes to the next option here is showcasing your best sellers category, right? Get right to the point when someone's getting your website. Maybe they found you via your social media. I know you all have done some webinars on social media marketing, right? So showcasing your best sellers category, right? Showcasing when people get to your website, this is what I sell the most of. This is what's popular. This is what we're about. and having that really prominent can make it easy for folks to just get there and do business with you, right? That's what you want them to do. Folks oftentimes make the mistake of, oh, I'm getting a ton of traffic to my website and it's looking good. And it's like, okay, cool. Traffic is great. Hits are great. That's all important. But what are they doing when they're there? Are they actually buying? Like, I can have 100 people walk into my brick and mortar store, and that's awesome. But if none of those 100 purchase, I mean, it might as well have been nobody walking in. So, really having a converting website is going to be super, super important for all of y'all. The third one here, tell your story on dedicated pages, right? The about us, our story, those type of pages. Those still have a ton of value for today's website. I know a lot of people think, well, people are busy, they need to get in and out. And that can be the case as well. But really, think about we're all consumers here, all of us here on the website or on the webinar. We're all consumers ourselves, right? We buy from people that we like, right? And except for those things that we just have to have. But when we're coming down and here in the holiday season and we're shopping and we're buying from folks that we like, products that we like, maybe with something we like about them, probably somebody that we follow online and maybe follow their socials, and that's how we know them and we know their story. We've seen them post about their ups and their downs, the behind the scenes, right? We get to know them, and that makes it. People want to buy, people want to do business with people they know and want to know the story behind it. So use those pages to really get that across. I'm just going to pause for a second here. I do see Tejas, how would you suggest those who have service-based businesses? I mean, this would apply for really any type of service that you're offering, whether it's a physical product, a food and beverage, or a service, right? You really want to highlight your best sellers, your product would be the services that you offer, right? Those types of things. So, I mean, it can really translate to any type of business, especially the story piece, right? That story piece of the services that you offer and why and how you got into it, your specialty, maybe any certifications, right? That's where you want to tell that story about why they want to end up doing business with you, no matter what your product or service is. The fourth item here, showcase reviews and rating. Right, everyone is about, oh, what star rating does it have? What are people saying about it? And in the last session we did with just the basic presence, I talk about testimonials and just how powerful a testimonial can be, because even though it's about you, it's not from you, right? And I use the example of Colleen mentioned, I go to a lot of cities, I do a lot of webinars, workshops all over the country, and I'm often in cities that I'm not familiar with, right? So I try to support as local as much as possible. So I'll walk around or drive around, try to find somewhere to eat, and maybe I'm looking for a taco shop. I'm driving down Main Street, looking around, seeing what's happening. 2 taco shops on opposite corners. One is super busy. The other one, not so busy, just a couple people in there. This other one maybe has a line of people waiting to get in, right? Some folks would think, oh, well, that one has a line. I'm not going to wait. I'll just go to the other one that doesn't have anybody there. But as social beings, right, as humans, we'll tend to think of, well, why are there people there waiting to get into there when they could go across the street to somewhere that doesn't have a wait? It's like, what makes this so special, right? And that right there in itself is a testimonial to that restaurant, right? People standing outside waiting to get in, waiting for a table. That's their testimonial. That's the review that, hey, this place is a place to try out, somewhere I really want to focus on, right? And as social beings, we're seeing that thinking, well, if all these people are willing to wait, there must be something better about it than the other one. There might not be. It might be, the food might be exactly the same, but without having tasted it and not knowing it, right? We're going to use more of that social proof, like that. And again, that's on your social media. Social proof is important. Folks that are resharing your social media posts, right? Someone sharing something that you put out there that is not you, right? Someone that doesn't work for you. I expect, or we as consumers expect, when I get to your website or to your social, you're going to talk about how awesome you are, how awesome your product and service is, right? We expect that. We expect you to do that, to sell to us. And that does carry some weight. But when we see someone else telling us, oh yeah, you definitely want to go to Sandra's website, or to Colleen's website, or their boutique or their restaurant, right? It's fantastic. Try this, try that. Right? We That carries so much more weight from us, from someone that we trust, or even just someone else not being that person. Um, this past weekend was my wife's birthday. I'm based here out of Phoenix, Arizona. We headed up to New York City, her first time there. We have an office in New York, so I asked for folks, hey, where should I take her to eat? What are some good places to eat? Some good places, some holiday markets to check out, right? Instead of just looking up, just a random, website or anything like that, or reviews. I took, from social, right? From folks in the chat saying, "Oh yeah, try here, try here, try here, go there," right? That carries a lot of weight for me, because folks have been there, they've tried it, and they're giving a thumbs up for it. So definitely, anytime you have testimonials, reviews, ratings, showcase those as much as you can. And then the last one here, which we'll kind of go over in a little bit later too, is offering more payment options that folks have. Folks can be stubborn, right? Oh, I only like to use this specific payment type, or this specific payment type. So the more third-party options you can incorporate into your payment flow, definitely do that, right? There's different payment cards, there's different payment providers, there's buy now, pay later. There's many of those options that you can use to be sure you're covering folks. And it's not something you have to do all at once, right? It can be gradual and figuring out what's going to be the best for you, but definitely offering everything. Yeah. Tay says, we have everything. Yeah, right. You want to give, hey, you want to do business with me? I've got every different way that you can offer payments on. You're not going anywhere. You're gonna check out, right? That's ultimately what it's saying is, I have every which way that you can check out online or in person. There's no reason why you shouldn't buy, right? Someone else here said, me too. So great. You're already there. Awesome. All right. So next up, this is one that sounds so simple, but so many people make, just forget about sometimes, right? You want people to purchase from you, to buy from your website, right? They have to find it, right? There are so many websites out there, and every day someone else is launching a website. And so many different options, right? So you have to make it easy for the search engines to understand what your website is about. So when people are looking for what it is you offer, right, they can easily find it, right? And some of these, um, you know, making it easy for search engines to understand what your website is about. Okay, when we talk about search engines, or you may hear the term SEO, right? We're talking about Google, Yahoo, Bing, those primary search engines, right? So really, what you're doing with the website and with the content on your website is making those search engines believe what you're saying about your business. So you definitely want to add the keywords to your site, about your business, right, in your descriptions. One area that I really see people tend to miss out on is the descriptions of their product, right? They have all this information on the website, and I go to check out, and let's say it's, a red T-shirt. They just say, red T-shirt with logo, right? It's like, okay, well, that could be any business out there. Is it 100% cotton? Is it handmade? Is it made in the USA? Is it, what type of logo? Is it an embroidered logo? Is it a press on? Like, the more descriptive you can be, because folks, when they're searching online, they're not being very vague. They're getting in there pretty specific to what they're looking for, because there's so many options out there. So you really want to use those areas for your product description. Use as much of that as you can to be descriptive, not only for the people that visit your website, but for the search engines, so they can have, the more information they have, right, they can spit out a better result there. So your site description, every single website builder out there has these areas where you can add in your site description, your page description, right? And you can see, like, in the Google search results, that's what shows up there. That's where they pull that from. So definitely using that real estate space. I don't think you can see my pointer here, but just a couple examples here, right? Your product descriptions, your site description. The last one here, alt image tag. So if that's something that you're not familiar with, it's being able to basically tag what your photo is. Now, search engines and AI are getting better and better at recognizing what a photo is, but up until this point, that's been a challenge, right? So think about, you take a picture with your phone or a camera, you download that image. The image file is, 12345 QR 578 dot JPEG or PNG, right? It's a long file, doesn't mean anything. Well, alt image tags is where you can tell, or where you can basically say this image is a 100% cotton red T-shirt with the Martin Guerrero logo on it, right? You don't necessarily see that on the website. That's what the search engine sees when they run into the photo. They're looking for the photo, they'll look at the file name, and it might be some jumble, doesn't mean anything. Or you can create an alt image tag to where it'll say this image is this specifically. So when someone is doing an image search, that's what will pop up, right? So it makes it easier to do that. Just one of those little things that can make your site just that little bit better than maybe your competitor. Um, since we're on the topic of search engine SEO, I do see a question in there. Can you recommend best tools we can use to align those keywords? I mean, the masters of it are Google, right? Google is the master, and they offer Google Webmaster Tools, Google Keywords. They have these free tools out there. So I would recommend Google Webmaster Tools or Google Web Hosting Tools. That kind of gives you that whole gamut. And these are free tools that you can use. These are the tools that to analyze keywords. They will give you keyword analysis, so you can put in a keyword or a key phrase, right? It's not necessarily just word, a key phrase, and it will tell you what type of volume there is on that per search. You can get to, let's say you're in Houston or New Orleans, and that's just where you're based, right? You can find out what the keyword volume search is in your specific city or state, right? It can get very, very granular there. Chrissy says,
Martin, we
yes, I need
have
to get better. Yes.
we have another question. You're still just added it to the chat as well. What is a permalink?
A permalink, cool. Thank you for asking that. I have it on here. I didn't kind of talk about it here. So permalinks are these permanent links that direct people to your site. For example, your product page that is displaying your shirt, you can set, so it'll be, mywebsite.com/store/red shirt with Martine's logo on it, right? So that's the link you can give specifically for that page, for that specific product, right? Most websites will auto-generate something for you that maybe doesn't make sense. Most web builders will allow you to adjust that permalink. That way you can, if you wanted to share out to your social media this specific product, you're going to give them that link, and it's going to make more sense. And that way, that link will get indexed via the search engine as well. So when someone's searching for it, it takes them specifically to that link, so they don't have to kind of dig through your website to be able to find it. It's something that, again, those links are auto-generated by most web builders, but this is just something that you can go in and you can tweak that to make it either shorter or be more specific to that product. What was the other Google free tool you mentioned other than web? So it's Webmaster. I think it's called Web Hosting Tools here. There's also Google Keywords, Google Keyword Analyzer. So you can go in there. I mean, you can essentially you can just Google it, Google Webmaster Tools, and it'll give you that whole list of tools they have. And one of those being the keywords. I think they have it all now and just there in their dashboard. And that's one of the tools that you'll be able to use. Like your website will eventually be found by Google. Let's say you publish your website today, right? Google doesn't know you exist until they actually, send out their bots to find new websites and scan them. But you can help them find you by using Google Web Hosting Tools. Bing has this as well, Yahoo, where you can add a little bit of code to your website to let them know, hey, come find my website. Here's what it's all about. And you can see here, just some kind of results here. Kiddo, this children's boutique in Chicago, they did a great job here highlighting the specific types of products they sell. Eco-friendly children's clothes, right? They most likely did keyword research ahead of time to understand if people are using different, keywords. Some people may just say organic products, right? They're being very, very specific. Because as a parent, you're looking for eco-friendly children's clothes, right? You're not just looking for eco-friendly clothes in general. You're looking for your kids there. So Chica, small Mexican restaurant in downtown Oakland, they made sure to add a site image. This is a great way to engage people immediately, even before they get to your website, right? You're looking for somewhere to eat, you get some results. You see one with an image right off the bat with some delicious looking food, and right? What did they say? We eat with our eyes first, right? We see some good food there. That's probably going to give us a little more reason to click on that versus another one that doesn't have it on here. Again, these are just these little things that you can do to tweak to just make your site that little bit better versus the other sites that are out there. Alkali Rye, another shop in Oakland, they not only specifically highlight their products and services, but also where they're located. Right, you can see, a specialty beverage shop and tasting room in Oakland, California. Right, so as you can imagine, folks may be searching specifically for tasting rooms in Oakland. Since all the restrictions and all that have been lifted, so they're giving you that specific location. They maybe even could have done a better job there in East Oakland or West Oakland, right, to let folks know specifically like where they're at. Let me switch here. One thing I wanted to add here, just on your website, and another thing I see people not utilize enough is calls to action, or if you know the marketing lingo, a CTA, right? If you fail to use calls to action to guide your users through your site and down a path of doing business with you, you could be letting folks slip away or losing opportunities there. And really, the main purposes of a call to action: tell someone what they should do and give them the motivation to do so. We've all seen it. Again, we're all consumers ourselves. We've all seen it, right? We go to a website, buy now, shop now, upgrade today, free shipping, right? That's probably the biggest one you'll see out there today, folks. Hey, buy from us today, right? Free shipping, for your next order or this week or whatever that might be, right? That's letting folks know to do something. Thank you, Whitney, co-signing here. Call to action is everything, right? Because when they're in your place of business, if you have a brick and mortar, right, you can tell them, oh yeah, children's clothes are over here, women's shoes are over here, right? You can guide them, right? That's a call that you can guide them where to go, what to do, show them the product. But when they're on their website, the site has to do all that for them because you're just not there to do that. So using these calls to action, and not just on your homepage, but every single page since then, really to get them going down the path to doing business with you, right? Really, really effective way to get folks to do that, right? And you can see the MasterCard digital tools page here, right? Get started. That button there for checking your digital readiness doesn't say maybe, doesn't say, you're clicking that button to get started. This is what you're going to be doing. So great example of a call to action there. Another one that I really appreciate and still love, and I see people trying to get away from it because they think, oh, email marketing isn't the thing to do anymore. It's still one of the most cost-effective options out there, leading to some of the better returns on investment for I think it's now today, I think for like every dollar you spend on email marketing, it's like a $38 to $40 return that you can expect. So it's critical to build up an email list of your loyal customers, and you can tap into it any moment, right? Versus passive customers you attract in other marketing channels. Those loyal customers, those repeat customers are going to be the lifeblood of your business, right? So using email marketing to get them to do more business with you, to let them know, hey, my loyal customers, right? Because you've been with us, I see you're purchasing with us. Here's a free coupon for just you specifically, right? Or hey, I see. Again, you can get really granular. You can do like smart groups, targeted groups. Hey, I see. For those of you that bought the new T-shirt, like here's the matching hoodie or the matching hat or the matching pants, right? You can start marketing those other pieces that go along with it. Or it's just, hey, here's for our loyal customers, you get first dibs on the new tasting menu that our restaurant is offering. Come in on these days, you get firsthand, first option to taste our chef's new menu, right? Very, very vital. Christy, thank you again for co-signing there. So much money in my email list, right? That's going to be, if it's done right, and it's not just market. It's really a way to connect with folks as well, with your customers, just letting them know what's going on, what's happening, updates in the business, some behind the scenes, and then of course you're mixing in some offers there as well. And of course, those loyal customers for you, right? They're your community. They're going to spread that, via word of mouth, right? You're going to be building up your loyalty base. They're going to bring in more people. So keeping those repeat customers, your loyal customers happy, right? It's just a great way to generate even more and more revenue. All right, last piece here, mobile, right? I probably don't have to tell you here, right? your buyers are on mobile all the time, right? Think about your own behavior. Think back to when you needed to be order a last minute gift or order dinner or made an impulse buy while browsing social media, all while on your phone. We're doing everything from these today. So how does your business prioritize mobile? Making sure your website is mobile friendly, going through your website on a mobile device and going through the whole checkout process to make sure there's no hiccups here. Let me pause there real quick. I just saw something here. Can the protected pages strategy work for services? Can you expand on that a little bit, Tamika? I'll be happy to answer that if you can and kind of expand on that just a little bit. On mobile, right? Branding gets really simplified on mobile. Even for the largest companies out there, right? You're going to see very simplified color palettes and user experiences. We've got the Mac screens today, right? It's still smaller than our laptops, still smaller than our tablets. So there's really limited real estate there. So we talk about brand and how that can apply to mobile. It really helps to focus that conversation, right? We're not talking about flying animations or moving videos on mobile because folks just don't have the time. They want to get to what they want to get to on mobile. So focusing on your colors, your fonts, your logo, your domain name are crucial elements for your website here. But the example here, right, and the Nike example that I have here on the Nike app, very, very simple palette here, right? They've got the white. Each photo has that real little light gray background, but then you've got the Nike red that pops there, right? Just in coming soon, right? That's the Nike red where they're using their brand color there to give it that bit of pop there. So again, a multi-billion-dollar company, right? Their website, very simple there. It doesn't have to be super extravagant. It's gotta have a great flow to it. I understand how it could be useful for products. How can you give an example of how it could work for a service-based business? Protected pages. You're talking about to make it like if they get to your website and there's a password there, like and they have to maybe either sign up for your newsletter or give you the email in order to get to a specific page. Is that what you're talking? I mean, it would work generally in any of those, right? Anytime you're talking about essentially gatekeeping some sort of information on your site or your product, right? It kind of gives it that element of, man, this is something that not everyone gets, right? So I can understand having it just a public page where anybody can get to it, or having that protected page where, oh, I have to give you my email. That could work in your favor, especially if you're looking to get a very specific clientele, right? Someone that is really looking for what you're after is going to fill out, a contact form or just sign up with their email to get to that information, right? Maybe it's a white paper or it's a video that you have behind that protect page. That could definitely work. I mean, that's going to be, if that's your business model, if you're really wanting to narrow down your customer base, that could definitely work. All right. So again, I mentioned going to your mobile device and going through the checkout flow on your website to the very end, right? Because that end-to-end shopping experience often overlooked. Pretend you're your own customer, go through it. If you find a hiccup, right, fix it. Make it as easy as possible for them to get through that. All right. And I went that a little faster because I know we've got limited time here. How often do you recommend sending emails for service-based businesses? Man, that is the $1 million question. You definitely don't want to be sending too much. Your customers will let you know, right? I mean, it's something where, and you got a lot of things to consider there. The time of year right now, everyone's email box is full, right? But this is the time to send out those emails. So them seeing maybe a little bit more right now during the holidays isn't such a bad thing. Maybe not during the slower periods. Maybe it's a once a week, once every 2 weeks. It's really going to depend on your customer base and how, if you've got truly have like updates that need to be kind of made. Maybe you want to focus some on your social and kind of take back some of the email, maybe some of the email, some of the social. So it's not just email. So it's not looking like you're just blasting them over and over with the same message. Kind of mixing and matching that up a little bit. Right. We touched on this a little bit earlier, and just and the checkout flow and offering folks just all the different payment options that are out there, right? So how can I pay thee? Let me count the ways, right? I would like to hear just in chat, like how many different ways of are you taking payments out there, right? Like let's hear from you directly. Like how many types of payments are you taking out there? I mean, I know there's quite a bit out there. One of my favorites right now, tap to pay on phone. Right, you can do this on iPhone, you can do it on Android. Um, so if you're familiar with Square, right, you probably remember the little white card reader that you plugged into your aux jack on your phone and were able, to swipe a card, right? This is the new iteration of that MagStripe, right? We were swiping away back in the day, not so much now. Everybody's tapping, everybody's inserting chip, right? You're gonna be able to do that every which way. Tap to pay on your phone now, no hardware needed. It's built right into the app. Folks, just about every card out there today has tap to pay enabled. If not, they soon will. Right, make it super easy for you to take a payment on the go, every which way. Um, let's see here. Aurora says almost everything except crypto, online 6, in person 4. Wow. ACH, Stripe, PayPal, Apple Pay, whatever Stripe allows, and cash. Yeah, people still take cash, right? Cash is still out there. It's not dead, contrary to popular belief. Um, all the way, it's not crypto. Any recommendations regarding crypto? I don't. That's not something we've really focused on too much here at Square. We do have one of our business units that's focused on Bitcoin specifically, but like on the Square website, you're not able to accept crypto payments right now. I don't have really much to add there. I have all but Cash App. That's fine. Um, Cash App, if you're not familiar, it's a Square company. You're able to get a debit card through Cash App, so they would just pay you like any card out there. So, I mean, all the different ways you can take payments, right? Cash, credit cards, debit cards, electronic invoices. I didn't see invoices anywhere in there. That may be under everything where you can do, ACH. Your website, right? Your website's going to be a way you can take payment. Your social media, you can integrate your payments right into social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, right? You can take your payments right through there. Text message links today, you can send text messages with the link directly to checkout. I didn't see anybody mention QR codes, right? QR codes is they've been around forever, but really got their moment in the sun when COVID hit. Gift cards is another way you can take payment, right? There's so many different ways, right? You don't have to just the old way of just someone being in front of you, either handing you cash or swiping a card, right? Definitely. We've adapted since then so many different ways. Buy now, pay later. Someone mentioned Afterpay and other split payments. Do you have an input on Afterpay and other split payments with fees being so much higher? Yeah, for those that don't know, Afterpay is a Square company. Square purchased Afterpay. This is a little over a year ago now. Afterpay is that buy now, pay later option. If you're not familiar with it, if you're old enough to remember layaway, and the way layaway worked, right? I would go to like a Kmart or a Sears with my mom in the summertime, and I'd pick out my school clothes for the next year. And she would go to the layaway counter. They would take all the clothes I picked out, and she would do a payment, and then she would make payments on those clothes. And hopefully, mom paid all that off before school started, so I'd be fresh for the first day of school. I have not. I wasn't so fresh on the first day of school. It happens. But right, the reverse of that, now you have buy now, pay later, where I can pick I can go do my school shopping for, I've got a soon to be 15-year-old son here in 2 weeks. I can go get all of his clothes, take it to the counter, purchase it, and make it into payments, but I walk out of there with those clothes today. So that's the buy now, pay later. So in the Afterpay example, let's say it's $200, right? Let's say I got, that's a pair of shoes, today. Let's say $200. We're walking out of there with a couple shirts, some pants. I'm paying the store. The store says it's $200. I use my digital Afterpay wallet. I'm pay. What's coming out today is $50 for me, and then every 2 weeks I'm paying another $50 until that $200 is paid off. For the business, they're getting the $200 up front and letting the person walk out of there with the merchandise. Now, because there is an inherent risk in that, right? For the business, there not a lot of risk for the business because like in the Afterpay situation, if the person making the payments didn't end up making the payments, it would be Afterpay who's responsible for that, not the business, right? So Afterpay assumes the risk of paying the business up front, the whole thing, and letting them walk out of there and make payments, right? The business, they got their money, they're good. If the customer didn't make the payments, they have no idea, it never comes back to them. But because there's that inherent risk, there's a higher fee. Most credit card companies, right, fees are 2.5 to 3.5% for a card purchase. For most of the buy now pay later, it can be anywhere from 5 to 8%, right? So it's a higher fee for accepting that because there's the buy now pay later company is assuming that risk. So not something you have to do. It's definitely an option out there, but whether that's going to be good for your business, or it definitely helps with increasing order sizes, right, and making it easier for folks to make payments. But again, up to the individual business to really decide that. All right, I saw a lot of stuff going on in the chat here. We recommend to our clients. Yeah, folks grew up on layaway too, right? I personally love Afterpay. So do I. I just used it for a new Herschel backpack that I bought for the new year for work here. Sandra, I use invoices electronic. That's great to hear. I love that. We recommend it to our clients that want to get package services at our spa. A lot of businesses I see use it for their higher dollar services, because maybe some folks are like, oh man, I don't want to pay $200 today. Cool, we accept Afterpay. You can do your payments on that. What makes it easier for them to do that. Big difference though, you don't have to wait now. Do you have any recommendations for payment for customers who have to pay out of pocket insurance costs? Latoya's asking, do you have any recommendation for payment for customers who have to pay out of pocket insurance costs? Not sure what you mean, Latoya, by the out of pocket insurance costs. I mean, I don't know that there's any other payment options out there, other than maybe if it's something that there's an extra cost associated, maybe having a contract associated with that purchase might be something you want to think about, including prepay for customers. Prepay is another one, right? Prepay or pre-orders, right, is a great way to build up hype for a new product, to build up a customer base. Does Afterpay integrate with Square systems? Absolutely. That's from JC. Square, like I said, purchase Afterpay, so you can accept Afterpay on the Square point of sale or on any Square website, and on a lot of websites out there, website builders as well. So it's fully integrated with Square's ecosystem. Something like Afterpay puts the risk of receiving payment on the merchant and not us. To avoid payment plans, a lot of my clients have large out-of-pocket expenses up to $5,000. Right? Yeah, the Afterpay puts the risk of receiving the payment on the merchant. There's no risk to the merchant, right? You're accepting that payment, you're getting paid for it, but you have the higher fee associated with that. But if that customer did not make the payments, right, it's on us to go after the buyer. It would never come after the merchant. Can you give a good one line for explaining the difference between Afterpay and credit card for customers? For a customer, there's no interest, right? So me, I'm an Afterpay customer. I use it. I would purchase, again, I bought this leather briefcase for my wife. She's got a new job. She's got this, she's carrying a lot of stuff around. The example is $200, right? So for me, I can pay $200. I mean, I'm going to pay that. I'm going to pay $50 every 2 weeks for that $200 to be paid off with no interest to me as the customer. Right? I'm not paying any interest there. If I paid that on a credit card, I mean, I could pay that right off immediately, and and try to avoid the interest. But again, to the customer, I mean, there's that benefit of maybe they don't want to open another credit card, or they want to use credit cards for specific things, right? I mean, that's where the Afterpay. I mean, essentially at the end, right? For when I'm making those $50 payments, it's coming off of either my debit card or my credit card. So there's still a payment behind there. So it just really depends on how you want to use that. Awesome. Yeah. I don't have any more presentation.
Okay. So my question is, so I provide therapy to children that have autism, and because of how intense the services I provide, when you have an out-of-pocket expense, we're likely going to meet that. So the new year is about to start next month, and all of my clients' insurance plans are all about to reset. Most of them will meet their out-of-pocket expense of the entire plan, which can be anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000 within with the first month of January. That often causes a hardship on my company because now I have to put these regular individuals who are receiving these services on payment plans throughout the year. Most people will pay their bill, but a lot of people don't. Right now, I have over $11,000 that clients have either terminated services and still owed me money, or just don't have the money to pay for it. So I'm wondering, similar to like Afterpay or that Klarna kind of program, is there another merchant program that medical providers can use for their clients so that we don't have to take up the burden of trying to collect these out-of-pocket expenses, and we can receive our income, even if we have to pay a fee to receive that income, and then they can use that program to help pay for their expenses throughout the year?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, I understand. Thanks for the explanation there. I don't think we have anything like that specifically. What I've seen some folks doing is, I know there are some credit card like companies out there that specifically offer for like medical. So like dental, right, is a great example. So my son, like I mentioned, I have a 15-year-old son. He had to get braces. Obviously, my insurance covers a certain piece, and there's the out-of-pocket piece. And they had like their own in-house like credit card offer, right, to do that, right, where they get paid, and then the 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 client, the patient, right, then pays the credit card company. So I know I'm not familiar with them. I know it's someone mentioned the health savings account, not that. So there is like like I have a health savings account through my insurance
Right.
where they take
It's
money out
not
of my account
necessarily a
and I
health
pay that,
savings
right?
account.
No. So
So, can I
I
ask you a
forgot the name of
question?
it. Yeah.
Since you're such an amazing person here at what company is this? This is the TAP company? Because what's the company that you represent? I can't think of the name.
Square.
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 Since you're such an amazing higher up representative at Square, I'm telling you, as a provider, this is a large gap in the field of health field, specifically the ABA therapy community. It would be phenomenal if you would open up some type of program like that. I mean, like, our families need it. The health savings account we do lean on. I always have my parents set up for SFAs and HSAs. I always have them sign
Yeah.
up for government fundings. But a lot of my parents can't afford or don't have the credit to be able to get a credit card to pay off those expenses. But if there was a similar program like this, I mean, because everybody doesn't automatically accumulate the whole out-of-pocket expense. Sometimes it takes them about 6 to 7 months to accumulate it, but some of it comes off of just them having daily copays. Right. And so at the end of the month, that daily copay ends up being a $900 bill. Well, they have all these other bills. So if they had something that Square offered that allowed them to be able, and I'd be a merchant that would be more than welcome to do it. But if they had something where I could sign my clients up for it, and instead of them having to come out of this $1,000, $2,000 every month, they sign up for your program where they're able to pay. Because at the end of the day, it's not like you can cap how much they can sign up for. And it all depends on their current insurance plan. They can load it into your system. It can show you like how much they are indebted at max. And you can say, well, we can help you cover up to 50% of this, 30% of this. That would make a huge difference for small providers like myself to survive in the insurance industry, because not only am I fighting to be able to keep my clients to get their money in, but I'm also beating down insurance to get my 50 cents and $25 every 3 seconds. I'm putting it out there to the big wigs here that are listening. The little guys would need something like that to help the small providers and the families who just are middle class people who happen to have poor, terrible insurance plans that don't really help them out of pocket, but their kids really need these medical services. I'm out. Thank you.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, appreciate that, LaToya. I can definitely take that back. I understand it better now. So yeah, thank you for that. Someone did mention the one I was thinking of was Care Credit, right? Sandra mentioned Care Credit for medical expenses. She uses it for dental. So sounds like maybe Visit Pay is another one. Sandra says it's a MasterCard system. So yeah, that was the one I was thinking of, Care Credit. I was trying to remember my dentist offered it for them as well. But it's essentially, yeah, the patient applies for a credit for credit, right? For them to be able to pay that. So then they're paying the creditor versus paying the provider. The provider gets their money, so you're not having to go after them. But again, to your point, it's credit, and they may not qualify, but there's that. So I'll take that on my end for that, because if it's something maybe we're able to kind of disrupt or help with, yeah, it sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, I'm serious. If you're interested in making that
Mhm.
happen, like I'll give you my email address. I will give you everything you need to know. And I know tons of providers who will jump on that. Like I have a whole network of therapy providers. And this is our biggest plague. I'm telling you, at least 25% of our annual income is legit
Mhm.
stuck in that.
Wow. Okay. I just direct message you, so if you can send me your email, that would be great.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Latoya, and I will also relay that to the small business team at MasterCard because I think that is a really great idea. So thank you for sharing your experience.
Thank you. I hope y'all can solve that issue. I just want to survive.
Understood. We want you to survive as well.
Okay, we are coming up on the last 3 minutes. So if there aren't any other questions, please add them in the chat. We're always going to plug the digital dashboard email. I'll send that in the chat right now. But yes, if you guys have any questions or anything that we can help you with, please let us know. You'll be getting a recording of the webinar as well as the resources that Martine has shared in an email coming out later. We are thankful that you guys are able to join today. We hope you have a great rest of your day.
All right, y'all. Have a great day
Thanks,
and a great
everyone.
holidays.
Happy holidays.